Hello, sir.
How are you, my brother?
I'm okay. Wow. You are Ellie.
Eby here.
Thank you, sir. How are you?
I am doing very well.
Very good. How's
Yeah.
Maryland?
Well, Maryland is good.
Yeah.
So far, everything's good here. It's getting cold,
Mm.
and things are good for us Africans. We never get used to cold.
Well, I used to like the cold. I mean, growing up in West Africa, it's
Uh-huh.
always hot. So when I came here,
Mm-hmm.
my favorite weather, my favorite season,
Mm-hmm.
spring.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes, I loved it. I loved it. It's a
Yeah.
little bit cold, but not too cold, and
Yes.
definitely not hot.
Yeah. Till the worst happened.
You know, for me right now, the summer is my worst season.
Yes.
you know,
And you guys saw the worst this year, right? Didn't you?
yeah, our summer was
Yeah.
hot. Yeah, very, very,
That
very
was in
hot.
England.
Yes, yes. Wow. Ebi,
Yes.
thank you for being here. Thank you very much for being here. Now,
Thank
we
you.
have a lot of things to talk about,
Yes.
a lot of
Yes.
interesting things to talk about. So, see,
Yes.
I like to start. See, I've seen about your bio. You have so many things. Uh, I don't want to read it. Okay,
Yes.
I want you to introduce yourself to my audience and tell them a little bit about you, your work, and what you do. Yeah.
Well, thank you, my dear brother Kenny, for having me today. Thanks to today, social media and all the inventions we have, and
Yeah.
I'm really happy to be here and talk to you about myself and what we can just share about Africa.
Yeah.
So, I was born and raised in Cote d'Ivoire, and I came to this country, to the United States, about 20 years ago. Cote d'Ivoire, that's where I studied, taught English in local schools, and later, um, you know, French and African studies at the main American school, the International Christian Academy of West Africa, based in Cote d'Ivoire, where I taught for years. And from there, I got another teaching uh, opportunity here in the US where I came.
Okay.
Uh, and here in the US, I taught, still French and African, Francophone studies and African studies also. Founding also, consulting, a lot of consulting firm, AaronPeacereign, which is just about the geopolitics and other things.
Yeah.
Also, I served on the board of directors of the Campagna Center, which is one of the most important education organizations in the US, in Virginia, where I was based first before I moved to Maryland. And also serve as a senior policy advisor at the Washington Media Group, which is one of the top-notch, media groups in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
I founded Global Caravan, which I'm going to talk about, which used to be just for, to support education, with distribution of books. And also I'm author, and currently I'm working on a very important project in Africa with many university professors I have recruited. I will talk about that probably in the coming months. And also, one of my most my favorite is youth empowerment.
Yeah.
Mentoring and getting people, young people to be up to the challenge. In the new world we live in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when it comes to my academic background, I'm gonna tell you something very interesting.
Yeah.
I don't really have uh, an academic background with a lengthy list of degrees,
Okay.
but I have a different kind of education
Yeah.
at a different level, very extensive, which I can boast to be very powerful. And I tell you what it is, my dear brother. You see, education, in my own view and experience, may see some people who may have a PhD, but may still be very uneducated. The real education is in our connection, communion, love, and communication with nature, society, community, and the world around us. It is where the real education takes place. He who pays attention to nature, society, community, and the world around, and is curious and gets involved, will be blessed with the real education.
I agree. I agree. Yeah.
Yes. And through that, acquire knowledge and wisdom. And I'm going to hit on that with another important point. The biggest enemy of knowledge, in my view, is ignorance. And ignorance is another name for illiteracy, as I sometimes say when I talk about.
We'll talk about that sometime. Yeah.
Knowledge does not only reside in academics.
No.
In academics, in books.
No.
The tap root of knowledge taps knowledge from the depths of wisdom to feed and expand knowledge. And wisdom itself is the foundation of knowledge. And this is my view pretty much.
Okay.
About education, how I learn every day.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
So when, for example, you read everything I have, shared, posted recently on LinkedIn, you will just know a little bit about who I am and find a little bit about my education. So that is what I can, say about myself, background, overall background.
Thank you, Eby. Thank you, Eby. See, what you said about education is correct. Getting all the degrees and the PhDs doesn't necessarily make you educated. Okay, yes. I agree.
Yes.
But displaying your capacity to use what you have learned to better society is a thing. Okay.
Yes.
That's what I agree. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So you were the founder of and senior strategist of Global Caravan, okay, for education and cultural exchange, right? So tell me and my audience about that and your youth empowerment program, which you are very proud of, called Guide to Life. Just tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, Global Caravan was quite a very exciting project. Mostly, most of the world, the things we see beside what I have talked about when it comes to education.
Yeah.
Also, books are important. Books open up the mind of our young people and us, adults. Like my young kids, 13 and 12, they have read hundreds of books.
That's good.
So education, as we have as a little motto, when it comes to Global Caravan, we say Global Caravan was formed around the core belief that some of mankind's best treasures are hidden in the least privileged children in remote places on earth, and we can uncover them through education. So for us, our education system in Africa, we know the conditions we are in. So I just took a lot of steps to contribute by, helping, our young people to have, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Have access to books so they can explore the world through books. And when it comes to Guide to Life, it is about, education of still children and youth, but in a different way. The work this work, when it comes to Guide to Life, it kind of like intertwines with the message in the book, which hopefully, we have the electronic version of the book online. You can have,
okay,
if you want to buy, you can have, you can buy it through Amazon.
Okay.
And I will share more when I talk about the book, a little bit further down. What do I tell young people? I got a few lines for you here, and anybody who has a child, I would just want them to listen to have those children have your children listen to probably what I'm going to talk about. Education, to me, in my view and experience as myself, I learn every day when it comes to teaching our children. Education represents the eyes and the ears of their success and their future. With no education, those young people may never see, there may be an opportunity right there that will come their way, but they may never be able to see that opportunity. There may be a good message that may be there in front of them. They may never understand that opportunity. And they may not even know the right path that will lead them to an opportunity that could, make them, successful in life. But if, of course, we have the books in, we use them in the classroom, we use them at home. But at the end of the day, that part of education, as I'm talking about, is a key. And it starts from home. It takes place from home and many other places, whether it's at the place where they worship and throughout life. So education remains, for our children, the key to success. And no matter the field they choose, it remains, the key. And those who teach them, they hold the key to whatever will get them to success. So that is why I remind my young children that your grades are money in the banks. Your grades are money in the banks. So you want to make sure that your grades are good. And I ask them, why you think your grades are, kind of money in the bank? They say, well, because I can get a good job if my grades are good and I finish university. I say, yes, you are right. So it is important that, we keep our kids' minds open on those things so they face their own challenge, even as young as they are, step by step, through questions that kind of like make them face, their own life, their own little life in their own little being. So pretty much that's the way I do it. But I'm going to talk about that a little further down as I continue to part 3, which is about the book. And if you wanted me to continue, with your permission.
So see, like you talked about, education is like the path, that we need our children to go on. Now, just like you said earlier, academic education, is not the only way. It's just one part of education. Natural exploration. That for me is the real part of education.
Yes.
A child being curious, inquisitive, of the environment. See, looking at the ants in your house, and looking at it so curiously to learn as much as possible. Now, if a child is encouraged to be curious, to look at things, to ask questions. Okay. Then, even when they go to university, even when they go to PhD level, they will get the core of the knowledge.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I believe. Okay.
Very, very true.
Yes.
Very true.
So with a guide to life, tell me, can you tell us how the process, how do you mentor the kids you work with?
Yes, and I'm gonna connect that with the book.
Okay.
Because the book is so I'm gonna move I'm gonna connect that with the book. Okay. So I'm gonna first tell you what the book is about.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna connect
that. Just do that now. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
Yes. So the book is a guide to life message that teach young people how to bond with family, the outside world, the proper choices to make, work hard, achieve, and give back to society. But at this time, we live in what we call the global community. We want to teach our young people to grow up to become world citizens, where they can fit in this world. So you need to give them the tools as they grow up.
Yeah.
So for example, when we take things like morals, values, principles, ethics, when we apply them to education, no matter where they come from, they do the same thing.
Yes.
But when it comes to how they are taught differently from one culture to another.
That's true.
But for example, I give one example.
Okay.
As a teacher, when I teach the American kids in my schools, I was famous because I'm one of the guys who could solve the problems with my kids the most efficiently and fast. And what is the reason? The reason is because I'm a man who has dual cultural education. So when I face a problem with my kid, my student, who is my kid too, I may apply the Western, type of education to manage the crisis. And if I see it's not working, I can go and apply the African.
Yes. What your grandfather taught you.
And as you see, my brother Kenny, why our children in the Western school perform so greatly, whether it's Indian children, other, children from other, cultures, because those kids, when they get here and we educate our children, we use the dual cultural power. And when the kids have that dual cultural power, it is what really, get them to really advance quickly and be good.
Interesting. Yeah.
So that is exactly what is in that book. And I'm gonna move down and read the poem in the book. And I want to make sure you hear this.
Okay.
So it becomes a very good part of what we're talking about.
Okay.
So in the book, there is a poem that is titled, "You Are a Valued Gift to Mankind." It goes like this. To the young readers of this moral story, always remember that you are a gift. You are born with lots of gifts. Those gifts you receive at birth offer great things, but you cannot see them all by yourself. You cannot properly see and use those gifts when you are young. You need some guidance to learn to use those great gifts to make your way into the world. You need guidance from someone who can teach you the key lessons you need. You cannot skip those lessons, for they form the strongest foundations on which you will stand. These lessons you learn enable you to jump safely and ascend into life with enough wisdom to settle down in society.
Mm.
Remember that living with wisdom is like living with a good first aid kit next to you. Wisdom gives you acceptance, respect, reverence, and reverence in your community and beyond. The lessons, morals, and values you learn throughout life are the ingredients of wisdom.
Mm.
Your academic achievement does not buy you wisdom. It is just a little part of it. Your social education bestows you with wisdom.
Yeah.
As a human, wisdom is what you are, and it will represent what you are worth.
Mm.
So this is a poem that I put at the beginning of the book.
Yeah.
So the kids can read.
Yeah.
And it is also part of this message when it comes to Guide to Life. So it's a combo I put together, whether it's the organization, whether it's my mentoring programs. I'm going to share a few lines also that our listeners, your listeners, you know, our brothers and sisters out there can just take that and probably have the children to say, hey, love, my love, come and sit down and listen. So that is what all, Guide to Life about.
Well, that's good. That is good. So now you mentor, and like we just said, you are an author. Okay. Mm-hmm. You are the author of the Walk to the Stage of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Awanita, the baby deer.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us about that.
Awanita is a baby deer. It's a little deer story for young kids.
Yeah.
And first of all, I want to tell you where the name Awanita came.
What does that mean? Let's start.
So I was writing that story, which is, okay, I'm in America. You know, I'm talking about a deer story. And I'm like, okay, America, let me think about African American Indians, Native Americans.
Okay.
So I was searching for many words, kind of like I was initiating myself to know more about those tribes. And I went to the Cherokee tribe.
Yeah.
And as I was looking, the book has a lot of, Cherokee words. So, and then I found that, okay, the name for the fawn, the young deer, is Awanita.
Awanita, okay.
So that is where I found Awanita. So Awanita means a young deer,
baby deer
in the Cherokee Indian language.
All right.
And it's a deer about, just like the way I put that story is like in our communities, like you in London, you may be living at an area, a hot area where you look at everything going on in that area, and you look at your children, you think about the future, and you say, I can't be here. If I really want my kids to succeed, I have to move to a different place.
Yep. Yeah, it happens.
So
yes.
As this book brings children about the awareness of nature and animals, the living things in nature. Today, you get out of the house, you see a deer killed by a car, you see a deer grazing at at park. A lawn where that lawn has been how I put chemical in it, and that deer eat and go die. So all of these things, with all of these things, a deer family decide to migrate Fairfax County area where I used to live in Virginia, and go to the main reservation, which is called the Shenandoah Valley National Park.
Okay.
So the deer family decide to migrate. And so from that place, they have to move the people, the group, all the deer group, the family to that, reservation area. And it was a very, very powerful journey with a lot of things on the road. And, finally they got there, were welcomed by the deer family, the big deer family in the Shenandoah Valley.
Yeah.
And it is a beautiful and color, that's where they welcome them and they settle down. So it's a very, very powerful story that teach young people about nature and the animals. We get, all of these dead deers and the kids sometimes, they're not comfortable with, but, they may say, okay, that's about life. That's what it is. But there is a profound story about why, those deer are dying and why cows are killing them every day. So I think I thought about that. I wanted to just, bring this little story to our young people. People who have read that, they said, oh, I think this can be a movie. I said, well, I'm not a screenwriter, but one day will happen.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
Maybe. Wow.
Yes.
That's powerful. So you mentioned that the world is global,
Yes.
Yes. It's so the world is so interconnected.
Yes.
Socially and mostly economically.
Yes.
The good, the bad flows seamlessly.
Yes.
So tell my audience about Africa's vulnerability to food shortage, due to the Russia-Ukraine crisis.
Yes.
Because people don't understand the level of connectivity, and globalization, and how that, because of globalization, countries have focused on what they do well, and have outsourced. Every country have outsourced those things they don't do well, so that they can import the final product from other countries. That's how this world we live in today was built for the last 70 plus years. So now, because of the crisis, Russia-Ukraine crisis, food shortages all around the world, wheat, sunflower oil, all those things is impacting fertilizer, is impacting the world. And I've seen that a lot of young Africans who talk about this conflict do not realize what is coming down the road. So please, you can enlighten us a little bit about that.
Yes, and thank you again, my dear brother Kenny. I think you put those questions. So I love every question you put out here, and I'm ready to share them. So, first of all, I want to start this point by saying what President Trump a few years ago said. President Trump said, "America first." Trump said this just a few years ago, but it has been always like that for a long, very, very long time. And it is the same thing with Europeans, but unfortunately, it is only Africa that has not understood how the game is played. A few leaders like former President Gbagbo of Cote d'Ivoire once said, countries have no friends, they only have interests. And many other leaders have said that in the past, but unfortunately, it was overthrown. So in this whole game, it is only Africa that has chosen to eat last. I repeat, to eat last. And well, it has been, Africa has been eating last for centuries. But since the Ukraine war, things are being thrown so directly in the face of our leaders, our African leaders, that we have started now to think differently. So I continue on that. Africa must understand that a hungry man is not a free man.
Yes.
A hungry man cannot think, and a hungry man cannot be productive. We have the most able population in the entire world, with between 60 to 70 or 70% of our people under 30 years old.
Yeah.
We must get them busy, but more importantly, they must be fed. And when you read my poem, I posted on LinkedIn, which is titled The Last Call, I talk about some of those things in that poem. We have 60% of the world's arable lands, and our leaders must farm these lands to feed our people. And they must use all their modernized agricultural, all the techniques, all the science, and everything that is available out there, science and farming, science and technology, to increase the production, so our people at the end of the day are properly fed, so they can be productive and be up to the challenge.
Okay.
Yes, that is my take on that part.
Okay. So how does this conflict? Because like I mentioned, wheat, we don't produce wheat. Okay.
Yes.
Russia is #1 provider of wheat in the world. Yes. Ukraine is number 4 or 5.
Yes.
In the world. Sunflower, Ukraine is #1.
Yes.
Phosphate-based fertilizers, Russia is #1.
Yes.
Okay. So this even agriculture that you're talking about. Okay.
Yes.
Now you say we have 60% of fertilizer. Well, I don't know if that is correct, because I know, see, for my geography, I know a lot of African countries do not have fertile soil. Okay. Okay. Now we have Zimbabwe, some areas of Nigeria, but I'm not sure about that. Okay. I don't know. I haven't studied that. But
yes,
even if we still need fertilizer,
yes,
to get the maximum yield,
yes,
in agriculture. Okay. And this war will affect all that.
Yes, it has been affecting that.
Good.
Yes.
And like you say, a hungry man cannot be very productive.
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
We already have so many other social issues going on in Africa.
Yes.
Okay. Now to add hunger.
Yes.
Is disastrous. Okay.
It is.
And this is why I'm a little bit concerned, because our young people do not understand this. Okay. So the kind of rhetorics I hear online is as if they don't know what is coming down the road.
Yes. So I think we already know what is coming down the road, because we already we already so yes, let me just actually we already in the middle of what is coming down the road.
Okay.
But you look at the grain export, and the first question is, why do we it is a lot in the news, but why do we need wheat? I can just name the North African countries, maybe Ethiopia, the food is a lot based on and Sudan based on bread, but most of Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, we have, yam, cocoyam, cassava, what else? and many others, including
yes, but we need fertilizers.
Yes, and even beside, we need when we talk about fertilizer, I would say probably 50-50, because still without first fertilizer, we have our lands are pretty good. We still can produce. But
I'm still contesting that. I see, like I said, I'm not sure, but I see.
I was born, you know, I was born in I was born in the village.
Me too.
I grew up. I tilled the land and all of that, and I'm one of those guys. I'm in contact with my family every other day.
I didn't till any land, but my grandfather, my uncles were big farmers, so we have a lot of land, and
yes.
yeah, I know that.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, but in terms of the whole continent, having the land that will produce the amount of food that will feed 1.2 billion people.
Oh, it's more than that
sustainably. Okay, without fertilizer.
I think we are getting there. You know, I don't know if you have been listening to the Southern Africans, and if we take Nigeria, I'm thankful we have Dangote. Our brother Dangote has been doing a lot of work, and now we have the plant. You know, that has started producing.
Now, what kind of fertilizer is it producing? Is it going to produce phosphate based fertilizer?
Yeah, the same kind like the Russians and others are producing.
Well,
the same
then where is the phosphate going to come from?
Oh, Nigeria, everything is you know, fertilizer is made from you know, those
nitrogen fertilizers is one, phosphate fertilizers is another one. So it depends on the components he's going to use.
Yeah, I think mostly the ingredient from natural gas and other stuff.
Nitrogen, yes. Okay, that's in Nigerian based thing. Yeah, good.
Exactly.
Good. Yeah, okay.
Exactly. So Dangote is doing. If you look at one of the presidents I love actually is William Ruto, even though he's been in office for just a few days, but he's actually getting all of these southern eastern states. And I think we're going to see a lot of things happening there because we're already talking about producing their own fertilizers there in that region as well.
Very good. Very good.
I think with the Ukraine war and you know, the kind of unfairness we have seen, I think has been such a, so blatant, you know what I'm saying, if I can put it that way, that now those who were sleeping in Africa say, you know, now we say, so, and now, so things have really changed, even though they know things they were not. So, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So some of them, things have been like that, but things have been so.
I asked you what you said there was on fairness. What on fairness were you talking about?
When you look at, for example, even if we talk about the war, we today talk about we're heading close to 100 million. You know, the money going to Ukraine. We're seeing that.
Okay.
So we see that today
from the rest of the Western countries.
Exactly.
Okay.
But you look at my dear country, from me, Africa, all the African countries are my country. My dear, like Nigeria and Mali, but you know, we look at terrorists go on those areas.
Yeah.
Has anybody just done anything about that? How many Nigerians and Mali people have been killed in the Sahel?
Okay.
So at the end of the day, people like now, we've especially, with the deal President Erdogan and Putin signed, a lot of the grain that was supposed to come out of Ukraine was supposed to come to Africa.
Yeah.
All the boats that came out, none of them came to Africa, only a few boats. Europeans were waiting there. As soon as that was done, they say, okay, us first. So Europeans took everything for themselves, even when it comes to fertilizer. They blocked the fertilizer that ships, I think millions of tons, today still sitting So Europeans, whatever was released from that deal that was
Okay.
supposed to come, everything went to them.
Mm.
So at the end of the day, President Macky Sall of Senegal, head of the AU, he went to sit with President Putin for that, for a request for the embargo to be lifted so those products can come out. And the priority was African poor countries. Even though I have always difficulty saying Africa is poor. So, but unfortunately, Europeans were very hungry, so everything that came out went to them. So Africans seeing all of that now, that has blown so hard in their face, they have started thinking. And we see that even if you listen to all the speeches at the UN, which I listen to all of them.
Yeah.
But you see that there is a change. When you look at today, what is going between Mali, Francophone countries, and France, you see that there is a change.
Yeah.
There is that wind of change blowing. So I think, at some point in life, like Bob Marley say in most of his songs, sometimes you can take those things, but at a certain point, you're gonna say, oh, now I think I got it, and I have to change. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I think there is now people are gaining more, they're understanding more where we are.
Yeah.
And maybe they say, okay, no matter what they do, we're gonna still trust them. But I think the level of trust, they have seen that things are not what some of them believed in. So we see a change. And thanks to people like our brother Dangote and the others in Southern Africa who are just working hard for even agriculture in Nigeria. They are expanding very fast with new farms. I have been reading about those things, which is very interesting, and they've been doing that in some other countries. And I think the next 5 to 10 years, I think will be in food, we should be okay.
Well, the truth is of the matter is this. Like, I don't know if I've always said this. Okay, we as Africans, we need to produce more.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
See, I will tell you, yes, I see some of those things you're talking about. They happen. Okay.
Yes.
But you see, you lose leverage when you are always asking for help.
Yes, there you go.
Okay. We lose leverage when we are always asking for help.
Honor and dignity.
Okay. So you see, when you are able to produce, then the equality will be there, because yes, there are things they want, you can give them up. See, for me, I say this, okay, and I will say this again.
Yes.
Natural resources.
Yes.
Is not wealth. To me, it is not wealth. Wealth is here in your head. What you can produce.
Yeah, that's where change. That's where change happen.
You see,
that's where change take place and happen.
Exactly. What you can produce in your head with the natural resources, you can think about it. You can use technology, use those natural resources, and produce things. Yes. That is wealth. Okay. So if we focus on, we have this under the ground. Well, like I've said this on this podcast, yes, you have those things. We didn't produce it. Okay. The creator of the universe produced it. Right? So you can't boast with them. Because we're only just fortunate that those things are under the ground where we live.
Yes.
Okay. That is not wealth. Wealth is what you can use your head to think about, fashion out how to get it. That is wealth for me.
Well, I'll counter this a little bit.
Okay.
Uh, I wasn't, if we talk about Bill Gates' son, sorry, daughter, I forgot her name.
I don't even know them.
Yeah, she's born with a golden spoon in her mouth.
Very good. Yes.
Dangote daughter Alima, she's born in that.
Okay.
So if I compare that to Africa, so some people may be lucky to be born in a family where the wealth is there.
Yeah.
But for example, Bill Gates is teaching his daughter, like in one of our, I think one video, he said his daughter will never marry a poor man. And what he meant by, people kind of like misinterpreted it. But what he was saying was to make sure his daughter married a man who is ambitious.
Yeah.
So same, if we go to, Africa, we were born in that wealth.
Yes.
But we want to make sure we are ambitious and creative enough so that wealth we are born can be transformed.
Very good.
So that we can monetize that.
Okay.
And that is why, the other day when I was talking to you, I said, I was talking to another man, a great African man, a big engineer in North America. I think it was 2 days ago. And I said, Africa is like that wealthy man, super wealthy man with a big mansion, but he has no fence and no gate. And then the robbers go in and just
take anything he wants.
Everything he has, and some maybe even murder his children or his wife or whatever, or himself. So Africa is like that.
Yeah.
A wealthy man standing with a big mansion, which is the Africa continent, but with no gate and with no guard at the gate. So if a wealthy man like Bill Gates, and you live at a place where you have no gate, you have no guard, then you will be robbed.
Yeah.
What it is.
Yeah.
So Africa has to, monetize. Africans were not born poor. In fact, I allude that to Bill Gates' daughter, but as he said, you have to be ambitious. You have to be creative to be able to monetize what you have.
Yeah.
Maybe Bill Gates' daughter, of course, the cash is already there. She will not have to work as hard as we mass Africans. But with ambition, we can do anything. With
Very
ambition,
good. I do agree.
That are set, we can achieve. So I believe we are born wealthy. And we need to just be ambitious and creative and be able to innovate so we can transform, we can monetize what we have.
Okay. I agree with you. I do agree with you. Now, let's talk about our sister. You see, for several years, I talked about I responded to a post on LinkedIn this morning about the same thing.
Yes.
Okay. Our sister, Dr. Arikana Quao.
Ambassador Arikana.
Yes, the former ambassador of the AU to the United States.
Yes.
Now, I for let's say about 5 years ago, I started watching a lot of her videos. Okay.
Yes.
A lot, Yes, and I do agree with most of the things she said. Okay.
Yes.
But after a while, I started asking the question: her strategy, is it effective? Is it sustainable to achieve what she says she wants to achieve for Africa?
Yes.
For me, well, in fact, I didn't know that the AU let her go. I only learned that sometime last year. Okay, but
yes.
And when I heard that they let her go, as I thought to myself, I didn't look at it to know why, but I just thought, okay, maybe some other people thought just like me that our strategy is not effective or sustainable. I don't know. Yeah. What do you think?
This is a beautiful question, and you have done a fantastic job, my brother. So this dear sister of ours.
Yeah.
Well, she's I'm gonna go in what I have to say. I had the honor, and the privilege to meet our dear sister, Ambassador Dr. Arikana Quao, at least twice.
Okay.
In 2019, at her office in Washington, at the AU office.
Okay.
And we discussed some very interesting and important subject. She gave me the pin I'm wearing. You see here, this African.
Okay, I can see the top of it.
Golden pin, and she gave me also a flag of the African Union that I still also have here at home.
Mm.
I tell you, my brother, she's one of the most amazing persons I have ever met.
No doubt. Mm-hmm.
The positive energy she has is very powerful.
Okay.
And she's engaged. And her love for Africa is her power. And I can simply say she is one of the best among us. And I continue with this. I think when Dr. Quao, Ambassador Quao, first came to Washington, this is what she did. She used a broom.
Mm.
You know, sometimes in Africa, when somebody does a very bad thing and they banish you from a village,
yes, they use a broom and then sweep your feet,
the traces of your
yes.
footsteps. So our mom, our sister Arikana came to Washington, and as soon as she found out the realities of Washington, the conditions in which Africans were, she used the broom and swept away everything about Africa from underneath the carpet, that dirty carpet. The many decades of fear and cowardice Africans confined themselves in at the key international organization centers of decision making, such as World Bank, IMF, World Trade Organization, etc. She stood up to unfairness and challenged the leadership at those institutions. She breached the barriers, and that helped the Africans, other African emancipation.
My brother, see, I understand all that, but my question is this.
I'm coming.
Okay.
Let me finish.
Okay.
She went on many channels. She appeared with people like Martin Rollins, for Black TV Network.
Yeah.
He's was one of the key guy at CNN, and then he moved on to create that thing.
Yeah.
Dr. Quao created a big buzz in the African diaspora and gave a new voice and a powerful energy to Pan-Africanism, to the Pan-Africanism movement.
Mm.
She ignited the fight, and today I can boast to say that she is the cornerstone of Pan-Africanism today.
Really? Okay.
The work she has done and still doing has set a new course.
Okay.
For the Africa continent at every level. Because when you come to Washington and you put your hand in that nest of wasp, let me put it that. So everybody was kind of like seeing that wasp nest that is World Bank. Even she went after the French for the colonial practices in Africa. French taking like worth $500 billion to Francophones, with so-called Francophone, African countries. But at the end of the day, it's like France is the one who go to loot and others just join them to eat. So when she came, she was able to put her hand into that wasp nest and shake it up.
Shake it, okay?
Shook it up.
Okay.
And so the work she has done is still, set a new course for Africa, for the Africa continent at different levels from our culture.
Yeah.
She passionately talked about that we have to claim who we are and the economy. So for me, she's an African goddess.
Okay.
And the work she has done, because sometimes you see people like Kwame Nkrumah who are talking about Africa unity.
Yeah.
Today, everybody say, oh, he was right. So people like Secretary of Guinea, when she told the French, I can't wait for 1960. I want to just get my independence, 2 years early. And the French say, okay, you're gonna go, but we'll take everything from you. Put concrete in water pipes and everything, destroy everything and left. Today, where ECOWAS, Francophone countries, where are they with the CFA currency? In one of my last post, I said the CFA currency is a suicide pill. It is a suicide pill. Today, Secretary maintained his independence, even though he was also one of the guys who killed. But today, the Guinea currency, it is getting robust and robust every day, because Guinea has a wealth that is unbelievable when it comes to those metals, iron and cobalt. They're the largest producer of aluminum, those aluminum stuff in the world. And the money actually that is coming in is quite amazing. And when it comes to those, so at the end of the day, whatever that the voice that Dr. Arikana gave here has brought a lot of change, a gain of consciousness. And today, countries like Mali, if you heard today, the Minister of Foreign Minister of Mali challenging everybody at the United Nations again today, a meeting about Mali. So that change is going, and more countries are taking the independence.
So
go ahead, please.
What was the reason why the AU asked her
why she left? She left? She didn't leave on her own will.
Yes. So the AU asked her to leave. So why?
Yes, AU, as I say, they have been cowarding under the carpet. And when she came, she shook things up. Those who obey still obey. Those people have been under for so long. They have their own personal interests and all kind of stuff that you know about. So they're the ones who forced her hand to leave. That's how she left.
Wow.
Because they couldn't stand her going, because sometime, I tell you, she will go to a meeting at the World Bank with a speech. She get there, she put the speech aside and go face to face with people. That's what she does. I mean, she asks the right questions and she wants answers right there. This is exactly, so people in those institutions, the leadership, they were so frustrated with her, they couldn't stand.
So what you're saying in essence is that those global institutions still have a lot of leverage and power within African countries.
Yes.
And two, in the AU.
Yes.
Okay. So
one example, AU is funded by if you read my post, you probably, I'm sure you saw some of the posts.
I read some, not all. Yeah.
They funded. So why AU would be funded need to be funded by European Union? Why ECOWAS need to be funded?
Okay.
So when people have a money they hold the tail of,
Wow.
they give you the money, but they hold the tail of whatever that they give you. So that is pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
So, but at the end of the day, when she challenged these people, they went after for those who have been under them and cannot stand up for anything. They decided to say, okay, you must leave. Wow. And she left. But from 2019 to today,
yeah,
the change going on in Africa, it is unbelievable. And I tell you, I read every day. At least I'm registered on probably maybe 20 or 30, podcasts, I listen, listen what they do. And I have quite a good understanding, a clear, limpid understanding of what is going on in the world.
Yeah.
And I say the course we are on will bring the change we need.
Okay. I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
Yes.
That's what we all want. Okay?
Yes.
I'm excited about the potentials of Africa and African youths.
Yes.
I just want
and one more thing.
Yeah.
Now that's why I say, and the other day I was saying, we thank Steve Jobs for inventing the smartphone. Steve Jobs should have a statue in Africa, the major, that big statue for Pan-Africanism statue in Dakar in Senegal. Probably we should put Steve Jobs there.
Well, see, African youth will never agree because they wouldn't understand why you want his statue there.
Yes, because I tell you today, before everybody will be sitting waiting for the radio and wait for what BBC was going to say, or France 24 was going to say, or what they call Africa number one, or Africa number one, or whatever.
Yeah. And Voice of America, BBC Africa.
La Voix d'Amérique, Voice of America. So everybody has to be sitting there and wait.
Yeah.
But now, and now, let me tell you one thing. What, the Western countries are caught in, some still, the ignorance is so high that they don't know that. I went to my village in 2018, and people there in my little village have access to information.
Yeah, they know. Why? They do know.
So they don't know. In the West, they don't know.
No, see,
when you have access to information,
everyday citizen of the world, they don't know what is going on in other places. But the people in position understand all these little things that are going on. Yeah. That anyway.
Yes.
I'm just excited. I hope what we think will happen will happen.
Hope. There is hope. Big hope. Yes.
So now I know you are a Pan-Africanist, okay?
Yes.
So I have a couple of questions for you about that. One, does Africa need to be united politically? One, and two, in your view, what are the biggest challenges to Africa's unity?
You see, you have been doing a great job.
Thank you.
Because you brought the right questions, and I appreciate it, and I love it.
Thank you.
Yes, I am a Pan-Africanist.
Okay.
And the question is this: who is not Pan-Africanist?
I don't.
Maybe
for me, I don't know if I am.
Hold on, I'm gonna come down.
But I also know I don't know if I'm not. So
I'll come down to make you a Pan-Africanist.
Okay.
Maybe anyone who does not love himself or herself as an African.
No, I disagree. I disagree with that.
Let me go. I continue. Loving who we are.
Yeah.
Protecting who we are. and stand for who we are, in my view, what Pan-Africanism is.
Okay.
And I continue.
Okay.
Africans are some of the kindest people among all people. Okay. Look at us, my brother. Despite all we have gone through as a people, we still have tremendous love for all people, even those who directly or indirectly hurt us. Because most of the living people are, the ancestors of the West. It is mostly the ancestors, oh, internet connection is unable. Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, yeah. But some of today, in the West who are living, not everybody, is on the other side. Some are very good people. We have very good friends, all of us, people of different colors. But I continue. When you have gone through slavery, colonialism, and still in neo-colonialism, all you can do as a human being, conscious of your existence and your God-given right to be free, then you must do something to claim everything that your soul needs to be free. Find peace, joy, and happiness. Because to me, without these, you are just alive, but not living, not at all. And I continue. So all we are doing is to create an awareness around a human cause in a language and communication of truth to deal with those who still do not see we are part of humanity. Yes. And we are all human beings, my brother. Born once. That's what in one of my poems I posted also on LinkedIn. Yeah. Born once in one single birth. I repeat, we are all human beings born once in one single birth with one color of life, which is the blood we share.
Okay.
We exist. Let me go again on that. We exist in one circle of life, in one color of blood that links us across 7 continents.
Okay.
And I can also say, that is why we can do blood transfusions.
Yeah. Okay.
Between us. And more importantly, on that point, I'll repeat that line again. That is why we can do blood transfusion between us. And we don't do with monkeys and pigs.
Yeah, because we're different species.
And who told us we are different? Who told us we are different? Who created the melanin theory? Those who believe in these things are those we are calling on to change, my brother. No. Because I think.
Hold on. Don't you believe?
Let me finish that one. These are those. Those who believe in these things are those we are calling on to change.
I do believe.
I think in their thinking, they still live in a subhuman kingdom, spiritual.
Hold on. So, are you saying we are the same with monkeys and whatever? Are we not different species?
Say it again. I want to make sure I hear you well.
Are humans not a different species?
Yes.
Different from monkeys? Yeah.
Yes. So as I said, that's why I can do blood transfusion with a Chinese, a guy from the North Pole, and of course we don't do that with monkeys and pigs.
Exactly, because we are different. Yeah.
Exactly. So that is who we are, and so all we want, me as a Pan-Africanist, what I want and what we all want is equality and share the same quality of life with everyone else.
Okay.
With no barriers to our freedom to enjoy life like everyone else.
Okay.
So, as I'm going to conclude on this, Africa unity must happen.
Okay.
Like here in the US,
what is holding us back?
Let me follow up to finish. To conclude, like in the US, we say united we stand, divided we fall. And we say this in America. America said that, and America made it work. I take an example like Israel. How many people are in Israel? They stood together, they share everything together. The brotherhood, and it worked. And so, if those people stood together and things work for them, we are conscious enough as African that it will work for us too.
Okay. So what is holding us back?
I'm going to conclude. And so we need that unity for our security and our prosperity. So the challenge, as I conclude, is a lack of unity. But as I say, I go to the other question when I was ending, there is a wind of change, and we must believe and be active actors that can contribute to change to happen for us. That is why I conclude.
Okay. So see, now, I'm not sure any African do not want us to enjoy freedom, blah, 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 like the rest of the world. Okay.
Yes.
I will tell you, I don't know anyone, life or dead, who doesn't want that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I agree 100%.
Good.
Yes.
Good. Now, you as a Pan-Africanist.
Yes.
For me, I see barriers to achieve the kind of unity you expound. And the biggest barrier, and this is what I've been talking about most recently, is the amount of diversity. Okay. Now, the diversity itself is not a barrier in itself. If the people acknowledge it and understand how big it is, then we can work on bridging the differences.
Yes.
But because we have not even acknowledged how big that gulf is, we cannot begin to do anything to cover it.
You see, I'm going to answer that in the next question.
Okay.
What we do. Yeah.
So we all are Africans, me and you.
Yes.
Both of us are Africans in diaspora. Okay.
Yes.
Many of us send a lot of money home to sustain members of our family. Okay.
Yes.
In fact, the amount that Nigerians in diaspora send to Nigeria is more than the whole budget of Nigeria.
Yes.
I mean, you know, so
yes.
But very few of us send money to build something to sustain the people and and still give us a little bit of profit. I'm talking about building businesses.
Yes, exactly.
We don't do that.
Yes.
Why? And what needs to happen to encourage the investment of Africans in diaspora in Africa?
It's a great question, and it's a continuation of the last one. The way you put the questions is it's just like in a chain reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first of all, what we must do, with our people, our loved ones back home, is to teach them to fish.
Okay.
Teach them to fish. And here in the diaspora, I want to say something interesting. Teach one another to fish.
Okay.
And more importantly, in the diaspora, learn to fish together. This is a very important ingredient that I'm adding. So we in the diaspora, I repeat, teach one another to fish. And more importantly, learn to fish together.
Okay.
In one boat.
Okay.
Yes. And another very, very important thing, water each other's ideas so we can grow together and prosper together. And another point, never forget to invest in human development. It's linked to when I talk about, all the teaching we have to do, with our people back home and ourselves, between ourselves here. So for example, this is my life. Whoever want to work with me, live with me, connect with me, associate with me. I want to see in you as a person who care about people.
Okay.
If you invest in a skyscraper, as an African, you invest in a skyscraper in New York City, and back home, your nephew or your little brother cannot go to school, for me, you are nothing. I repeat again, investment in human development.
Yeah.
To me, whoever I work with, associate with, I have care for, I have a respect for. The rules are simple. You can have your skyscrapers in New York, but I want to make sure your little brother or sister has the books to go to school.
Yep.
Because if things that we're investing in today, we saw Lehman Brothers in 2018, financial calamity in America. They had a company, one day disappeared.
Yep. I used to work in their building in London.
Yes. So imagine
there when it collapsed. Yes.
That's a good thing.
Oh yeah.
So one single example. If one of those people, suppose I'm a major investor at Lehman Brothers, but my younger brother, I invested him and he created, let's say, Google. Well, I can leave Lehman Brothers unhurt because my brother has room for me at Google. So that is the way things work. You cannot be sitting here in the US and you don't talk to your nephews, nieces, young brothers to mentor them, because what I do every day, they need to mentor. My nephews and nieces, I want to be straight with, none of them has ever failed an exam.
Okay.
Never. So for me, I tell them, without you, my dear nephews and nieces, without you, I'm nothing. Without me, you are nothing. So what we must do in the diaspora is, again, when it comes to our loved one back home, support them and teach them how to fish. Us here in the diaspora, teach one another how to fish.
Yeah. Fish
Learn
together.
to fish together in the same boat.
Okay.
Like the Chinese are doing in their own part of Manhattan or whatever. Water each other's ideas so we can grow together and prosper together.
Wow.
Because I give you one example of nature. If you don't do that, you can be like a lone baobab tree in the desert, in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
Okay, you with baobab, you have roots that are in the ground for more than a century. But look around you.
Nothing.
Who else is alive and well? So that is my view on this topic.
Okay. See, I get it. I get that. But there are challenges that a lot of Africans in diaspora are faced. Okay.
Yes.
See, I'll give you an example. A good friend of mine has a financial company which he formed about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yes.
Okay. So the business is ongoing. Okay. And then he hired in Nigeria. And then he hired a former classmate of his.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
At least to make sure he's still active, doing something. Okay. But last year, was it last year or early this year? This classmate of his embezzled millions of naira from the business his friend has.
Okay. And I have a lot to say about that.
That's one. Okay. And there are so many of that. Okay.
Yes.
I can give you my own personal experience.
I had some too.
Good. So see, yes, you're saying we should teach them to fish, but unfortunately, we are here, they are there.
They disappear with money.
Once you send money for them to do something, you are not there to ensure that they use the money the way you guys have agreed.
Yes.
And then if you chastise, you start enmity. Okay.
Yes.
And that's why a lot of Africans in diaspora, yes, they send money for feeding, for nieces and nephews to go to school. Okay.
Yes.
But to start a business, I can send you money for feeding, for your rent, for that. Okay, I can do that. I know I'm giving you the money, but I can't give you money to invest in a business, because what happens is that enmity, arguments will start, and those arguments will destroy.
Hello? Your voice is collapsing. Are you there?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, so I'm saying that the arguments would balloon into enmity, and it will cause friction within the family. So they rather give you money to feed and whatever, So
yes. So on that is why I created a concept called investment on the leash. You have a dog, when you walk out, you have a leash, the dog is on.
Yeah.
So people should listen to me very well. So you put money, and one of the things I want to tell you guys, my people, my dear brothers and sisters, a lot of the management, if you have sisters and even nieces, girls can handle the money better. Girls don't play with the money of the brothers or the sisters.
Okay.
And that is why I said we need more leadership of women in the world.
Okay.
Because women know what shame is.
Ah, okay.
But we men, I don't know about us. So that is one. And when it comes to investment in on the leash, that means I have my brother.
Yeah.
I invest. You know,
okay.
I want to make sure somebody else is where the money goes and where, because now in Africa we have a lot of companies like accounting companies and audit companies.
Yeah.
So you may hire, even if we have a lot of and in those companies you may have people who are like freelancers, you know, they can be there but they can do some independent work. So you can, if it is a lot of money, you want to make sure you get some of those companies who will go, if you have a chicken farm,
yeah,
at least somebody will go there every 2 months or so. So if for example, this section we have, so we start with, let's say 100 chicken. You want to make sure there are, you keep data on every day what is happening. So we have such number of chicks. We sure when they grow up, mortality may be such number. When you overall study in the country, it may be such, and then on the sale we may have such. So you put everything on the leash. Everything. The account is not one person who can go and get money. At least 3 people have their names, and minimum 2 people have to, take funds out.
Signature.
And also from here, you connect with the bank. You have a good connection with the bank, because the day that account is open, you on the phone, you contribute to the opening of that account. So at the end of the day, when the account is open, you have your connection right there at the bank, who also you can call, or you can just call your brother. Okay, we do the banking today. Go to the bank and I make a call and we check stuff. So he'll be sitting there. If it is every month or every 2 weeks or every 2 months, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, every 2 months, your brother or your cousin or your friend, like your friend's friend, you go to the bank, you sit there, I'm on the phone with the banker and we'll go through the details.
Well, all those are good, but then see, people have done all these kind of things, yet
people, the ones I'm talking about, a lot of people sometimes say they do things but they don't do. If anyone out there do exactly what I'm saying here, the day you open a bank account of that investment, you be on the phone with them. Someone there. Your brother is obliged to go to that bank every month, so you do the account with them straight. You get the login, the internet login of that account also. So things go that way. And if you have sisters, nieces, get them involved, because sisters are good and they are super good with the money.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, it's a fool somewhere who's going to come and mess up with them. Sometimes have a child and they have to raise those children by themselves. And sometimes a guy sitting there shaking his legs every evening waiting for the food to be being served. But at the end of the day, he doesn't care. All he cares is to use that money and go out there and look for women. But the woman is concerned about her children's future, her well-being, and the overall well-being in the family. That is why sometimes I say, just to laugh, when I see somebody who has 3 daughters, I say, you are blessed 6 times.
So I have 3 daughters. Okay, very good.
Yes,
very good.
Yes. So that means, how many daughters you have?
3.
So you are blessed 6 times.
Amen.
That's the way I say, because girls come back home, but boys, I don't know about myself. So girls at the end of the day, even if they're your nieces and nephews, sorry, nieces, sisters and nieces, they are good with money. But on the other end, that is the way you do. And if it's small money of someone managing that money, you have at least 2 people who, you introduce them to your brother.
Yes.
And those people, they're gonna visit that, so they can be, your brother can be on the business. If it is a farm, they can just not just announce, but they can make surprise visits.
Yeah.
Surprise visit. So you have at least 2 or 3 people who are every day.
Yeah, monitoring the business
to check. So you put everything on the leash, but get women involved, and that is pretty much how we do it.
Okay. So I hope my audience in diaspora can use this strategy and
on the leash,
and let's see how it works. Okay. So let me ask you 2 of my favorite questions. Now, what is your advice? Because most of my listeners are young people. Okay.
Yes.
So what is your advice for these young Africans? Okay.
Yes.
To contribute their best, their little best to their communities.
Great. So to you all there, my dear loved young ones, first, every day you get up in the morning, if you're a boy, feel like a king waking up, and go to sleep feeling like a king. Love yourself and make sure nobody just look down on you. And for our valued young woman, wake up feeling like a queen and go to sleep like a queen. Love yourself to death. And that is where you start sowing your seeds of success. And the next thing is respect to, I'm going to talk about that, to the people around, because those people, as I read in the poem, they hold the key to your success. Because you're young, there are a lot of things you don't know. You are born with a lot of gifts, but those gifts you are born with, somebody has to give you guidance to make sure you can exploit those gifts. And then hard work. And then I'm going to share a few very important things with you. I'm going to go very fast. And everyone who has a child, have them listen to this. Academics and education, we have the academics and the social. So 2 pieces.
Yeah.
The academic and the social part of education together help you stay the course with a stable balance to successfully work toward your goals, connect, build relationships, create a firewall around you, and build the guardrail that will protect you.
Yeah.
The 2 components guarantee your success. So I'm going to just keep down very, very, very good. And when I talk about guardrail, that means be good to people around you. When you are good with people around you, if somebody coming with something bad to you, somebody will stop that person before they get to you. Yes. And envy, E-N-V-Y. Envious is not a bad thing. We are all envious. But where you keep the level of your envy in your life is very important. Wow. Keep your envy at a positive level so it does not turn into jealousy, but rather be a source of motivation to help double your effort to work harder to get where those you look up to and want to be like with the lives. And you may even end up surprising them, have bigger success. Another, jealousy. Jealousy, kids, listen. Jealousy is like a slow-moving storm inside us. I repeat, jealousy is like a slow-moving storm inside us. It is important to focus on self-improvement by setting goals. You will rather spend time working hard to achieve other than deceiving yourselves, hating others for what they have. Taking that road of deception may harden your heart and drive you to trouble.
Wow.
I go to the next one. Anger. Listen to me, young people. Anger is our own biggest enemy inside us. Anger is like an explosive device, like a grenade you let go of by pulling that little thing while you are still holding it.
Woo.
It can be devastating for the one you rage against and to yourself.
Yeah.
Anger makes you lose control of things, and it will tarnish your image. It can tarnish your image, your entire image, in a matter of seconds. When you are angry, people don't see the good part of you, but the opposite.
Yeah.
It diminishes you other than lifting you up. It crushes your credibility and self-esteem, and it turns your relationship. It burns your relationship with others. It can cost you everything, including your life.
Yep.
It can suddenly turn your beautiful life into hell. So do everything you can to avoid it. And I give you one example. If you know Will Smith, the actor Will Smith.
Oh, yeah.
Will Smith is one of the our good-looking guy, great actor, doing good.
I love them.
And Will Smith, during the Oscars early this year, got up because Chris Rock, the comedian, made a joke about his wife. He couldn't control his anger. He got up and went to slap Chris Rock in the face.
Yeah.
Billions of people watched.
Yep.
So by the second it took the slap, just 1-2 seconds. And 2 seconds blew everything he has achieved in his life.
Yep. Yeah.
So this is one example, and I was showing that to my kids 2 days ago, because sometimes I go to my kids, I get them to read whatever I'm saying.
Yeah.
So Will Smith is one example that you take. Will Smith worth close to $400 million, but today is $400 million can be in the account, but who cares? But everybody run from him. He has become toxic, and he has made himself a toxic individual. So anger can make you toxic, where you will be alone in your own little universe.
Yeah.
Losing everything.
Yeah.
I continue. Bullying. Kids, listen to me about bullying. He who bullies thinks he's a winner, or he's superior and invincible, but in fact, he's a loser. He's a loser because it is from the lack of a lot of human qualities one becomes a bully. And he who bullies has no compassion, no love, no dignity. And I continue to ambition. And I have 2 more things quickly. Our ambitions, your ambitions, are the firepower that will drive you to success. And the other thing is competition. competition. Competition keep the pressure on you to do better, not to take anything for granted. A fair competition is good. Ruthless competition does not end well most of the time. It is not because the other guy runs faster than you that you are going to find a way to break his legs and slow him down.
Yeah.
You have to learn to run faster to catch up and potentially beat up that guy. That's what it takes. And the last thing here is very important. What I call is in my book as well, peaceful and positive revenge. Sometimes when we talk about revenge, people think it's all about hurting people. But what I mean by peaceful and positive revenge, I can say, okay, Will Smith damaged himself. He damaged himself. That is one. But Will Smith can take, or let's say Chris Rock, the one, Will Smith slapped. He can take that slap it took from Will Smith because he didn't hit him back. I think they're in a process of reconciliation. So you use that powerful thing that hurts you to be a person who can give hope to others, can teach others. So turn something bad that you get. Like, for example, we are in COVID time. I didn't get COVID. I got sick of COVID. But I have people I know who also say they don't believe in COVID. But when I got COVID and I got sick, I was able to tell those friends that, well, guys, my only revenge I can take on COVID is myself take more precautions, even though I was doing, but to also tell my friends that, well, this is what you need to do. Hey guys, this thing is real.
Wow. I talked to somebody today, a young, 50-something-year-old person today. Okay, we're discussing some of these issues with Africa, and he told me, because I told him COVID is real, that I know at least 10 people who died of COVID. He told me that he will cut off the call just because I believe COVID is real, and he doesn't.
Yes. and to finish, one other example that is in my book. So, kids, to finish, I'm going to give you that. So in the book, one guy who was the bully of the other.
Yeah.
The other took education very seriously, was very positive. And at the time, the bullies were playing playing crazy, doing all the crazy things, not listening in class, bullying others. So the one who was bullied became very, very successful. And the ones who were doing the craziness, the bully chief, if I can call it so.
Yeah.
Well, he broke all the rules at school and life didn't end well. But all he could rely on during the time was bullying others was because his father was a rich guy. His father was a rich man. So for him, his future was in daddy's
secured.
Pocket. For him, his future was in daddy's pocket. So he can just sit not working. And then tomorrow, okay, daddy has money. So that other guy worked hard, went to France, studied, and came back as a big doctor in the country. But well, the other guy who was bullied, well, he ended up losing his father, and he got nothing. So he got very sick. One morning he goes to the hospital, and the doctor he bullied in the past, when he got to the office, he looked at the list and he sees a name on that list of his patient that is the same name. That was the name of his body.
Wow. 3 minutes.
Okay, so
let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up.
Yes.
By you telling me your vision for Africa in the next 30 years. What is your vision for Africa in the next 30 years?
Okay, quickly. My vision, thank you for your question again. My vision for Africa the next 20 to 30 years. One, having our destiny in our own hands. Be in full control of our future through achievement.
Yeah.
Solid achievement in the following areas: unity, freedom, security. When I talk about security, I talk about human security, like with a continental military force, and economic security, and information security, because we know what is going on online today. And also education, which is part of the same thing.
Yeah.
Innovation and full prosperity. That is my vision for us the next 20 to 30 years.
Okay. Brother Eby.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I mean, this has been very interesting session.
Thank you.
I'm happy to have talked to you today. I learned a lot. I've laughed a little bit. I hope my guests take all this advice and wisdom that you have shared with us today and use them in a positive manner to make their life better. Thank you very much for being here with us on Think Big for Africa podcast.
Thank you very much, my brother. It was an honor, and I appreciate your diligence for putting such a fantastic, the way you organize things and everything flow, like in a chain reaction. So it was my pleasure, and I also tip the hat to you, and I thank you very much for having me, and we're looking forward for more in the future. Thank you very much.
Very good. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay.
Yeah.